okay. Hopefully I did everything the right number of times and that kind of thing. Okay, so the song's in standard tuning. There's definitely easier ways you could play it using the capo. There's easier versions of some of these chords. I was just trying to do what I think is the chords on the recording, but I'll also show you like some slight variations. So like for instance, the first chord is an A, and you could definitely just play an A. I hear this kind of like ringing, I think it's this. It might just be this though. So there you have a couple options. Like you can play. This is what I think it is. It's the first finger on the 5th fret of the B, second finger on the 6th fret of the G, third finger on the 7th fret of the A, pinky on the 7th fret of the D, and possibly then the thumb wrapping around and playing the 5th fret on the low E string, and then you get the open high E. Now you can very easily play this without the thumb, and then you have this. That's also fine. Or you can play regular A. And then the next chord is an E, which is just a regular E, so that's good. So I strummed the whole thing, as you notice, with my thumb. I don't know, it might be with a pick. It sounds right to me in this kind of thumb style. And it's a pretty straightforward, a lot of down strums. One thing to watch out for is there's this sort of pattern where every other chord is anticipated by half a beat. So it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then this one is in 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so that's sort of like a rhythmic pattern that keeps repeating itself. So you have the A to the E. Okay, so the next chord is like a G sharp minor, which you could play as a G sharp minor bar chord like this. So this is bar at the 4th fret, third finger on the 6th fret of the A, pinky on the 6th fret of the D. But again, what I hear is this open B ringing out with the B on the, so I hear this kind of sound. And again, so you could play it like this. So this would be first finger on the 4th fret of the G, third finger on the 6th fret of the A, and pinky on the 6th fret of the D. And then just try to strum just the A, D, G, and B strings. And then if you can, hook your thumb around to play the 4th fret on the E. That sounds like it to me. And then, the E might sort of accidentally get hit a little bit, and that's fine. So it's like A, E, G sharp minor. I'll just go over that one more time. First finger on the 4th fret of the G, third finger on the 6th fret of the A, pinky on the 6th fret of the D, and thumb, if you can, wrapping around and playing the 4th fret on the low E. But if you can't, just avoid the low E and just play these strings. And if you want to, just play a full bar chord. Okay, then it's back to the A, and this one is anticipated. I wasn't sure if the A is sometimes with leaving the B string open. That kind of sounds nice too. And if you do that, you can play this chord like this if you want. You can put your first finger instead of your thumb. But if you want the 5th fret on the B, then you need to use your first finger there. So G sharp minor, A. Now A becomes A minor. Okay, so now first finger on the 5th fret of the G, third finger still on the 7th fret of the A, pinky still on the 7th fret of the D, thumb, if you can get it, to the 5th fret on the low E. And then you kind of hear that open B next to that. It's a pretty chord. It's like an A minor, but with a, 2 or a 9 or whatever. A minor add 2. Back to E. So now C sharp minor is next. It could be played like this. I played it like this, and this seems right to me. Again, this is what it sounds like. Not 1,000% sure, I can't guarantee it, but I think it's this. first finger, so it's the same shape as the G sharp minor, but up here to make it a C sharp minor. So now my first finger is on the 9th fret of the G, third finger is on the 11th fret of the A, pinky is on the 11th fret of the D, thumb wraps around and plays the 9th fret on the low E. And then from this, it goes to like a regular old B7 chord. First finger on the 1st fret of the D, second finger on the 2nd fret of the A, third finger on the 2nd fret of the G, and pinky on the 2nd fret of the high E. That one goes for 2 bars. It always sort of peters out in the 2nd bar. Sometimes it's like a real break, and sometimes it just kind of like trails off. So like when it goes to the B7, it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. You know, sometimes it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, so I couldn't tell if there was like an exact pattern. It seems like almost like every other time it's really like a stop, and then the other times it kind of just trails off, but you can play with that or listen for that. So so here's that C sharp minor, and then to B7. Okay, so that's the whole thing of like the sort of main part. It repeats, I think, 7 times. If you think of it as verse, chorus, which I don't know if that's a good way to think about it, it's almost like verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, that gets then interrupted by the outro, which goes like this. It goes to an F sharp major, so bar chord at the 2nd fret, bar the 2nd, 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the G, 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the A, pinky on the 4th fret of the D, and then just slide that up to the 7th fret, and that becomes a B chord. And it does that 3 times. Same pattern where the first one's on beat 1 and the second one's anticipated. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. I hear another, I think there might be like a capo guitar that's going, some other guitar, but does that 3 times. And then there's this little build thing that goes like, you could just play, it's a D and then an E. So D, E, and you could totally play these regular open D and E. I played these, so I played them as like A-shaped bar chords where I'm also barring the low E string because I kind of hear that. Again, this is what I'm guessing is actually being played, but so it's my first finger barring the 5th fret and then my 3rd finger barring the 7th fret on the D, the G, and the B. If you've ever played that, and then this one is anticipated. E, just move that up 2 frets. So now your first finger is barring the 7th fret and your 3rd finger is barring the 9th fret on the D, G, and B. So 3 times of F sharp to B, and then D, E, and then back to F sharp, B, and it does that now, I think 5 times, and then it ends on F sharp. Okay, so hopefully that all makes sense. I will have a chart for this song available at my Patreon, which I will link to down there if you're interested. And let me know if you have any questions or comments or requests in the comments. And thank you so much for watching.